Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another Sunday shout out. I have another amazing guest who has sung on my latest single, Struggle. He's also from the UK. Please say hello and big love to Pete Simpson.
Hello, hello, everybody. Hello, lovely. Mwah. We miss
Mwah.
you over here in Vienna. We miss you.
Oh, I miss Vienna.
We miss you, especially a special somebody who shall remain nameless at this moment in time. But you're missed.
Oh, thanks. I'm sure people who have watched this series will definitely know who we're talking about, which is Fabian. Big love.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, shout out to Fabian, drinking some water on
Fabian.
your Fabi. Respect to you.
Oh my gosh. And to be chatting with a fellow singer. I love, 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 love it. And you are singing on Struggle with me.
Yay, yes, I am.
Woo! So if anyone was wondering, who's that lovely soulful male voice going on in the background? It's Pete.
That would be me. That would be me.
And what I love when we recorded this in the studio, because you were there when I laid down the main vocals.
Yes, I was.
Oh my gosh, you were the studio guest.
Yes, I was. Yes.
With Fabian, and I had this choral idea for the song, and Fabian, with his wonderful creative mind, was like, hey, I've got a perfect way to create this choir effect. And we actually made it with just you and me.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So situated in different spaces around the
It's
mic.
a real shame that wasn't recorded actually, because that would have looked amazing. So we were, in different parts of the room, obviously doing different voices, different harmonies. It was amazing. And then the effect at the end was just stunning. Really, really nice. I would actually like to hear that, just, the backing vocals just on their own, just to hear how great they were, because our voices really blended well as well together. And that doesn't happen very often, I have to admit, when you get voices that actually do resonate really nicely with one another. So we were lucky there that we got a really good connection as people, and then this really beautiful connection as singers. It was for me, it was a real treat. It was really, really nice to do. Thank you for asking.
Of course. I loved working with you on it. And you came up with, it was the final melody part as well, which was
I
so
cannot remember.
nice. Well, we were. What was it? No, I had the "He's waiting, you're waiting, I'm waiting" part, and it was you who did the
Oh, was it?
You did, yeah, because you come, from these lovely soulful gospel, like smooth vocals vibes going on. You
I live all of
did.
that. Live it.
But, it was just like this, everyone.
But I think it's good that I didn't remember, because when you're creating something, it's really, well, I can't remember what the famous quote is. It's to leave room for God in the room. I remember that coming from, I don't know if it was Quincy Jones or a producer who talks about that creative process and trying not to control it, but allowing things to develop within the process of creating. And I think that was one of those moments. This is a great song, that something like that would work. And I think we probably came up with that together. I'm going to give you credit for that, darling. But I think we probably got that. We got to that point together, and that's why it felt so good, and definitely why I've forgotten.
Well, I wanted this a cappella feel, and it was stunning. It was definitely stunning what we created together. Yeah. I loved it. It was such a great experience being in different places and how it would affect the sound. I really didn't enjoy that. I think I was in one corner, you were in another corner, and then we were opposite each other, and then we were standing next to each other. And we were it's like the surround sound of the mics. So awesome.
It was and obviously Fabian, bless him, he instigated that whole let's move around the room and try and get different things and get closer to the mic. And his expertise and technique really helped us to get that really lovely sound that we got for the track. So yeah, I'm very proud of that. I'm very, very happy that you asked me to be part of it, and I'm looking forward to the buzz that it continues to bring for you. So yeah, bring it on.
Thank you.
I would encourage all of those that are watching this interview that if you haven't heard the single yet, Struggle, that you most definitely go and listen to it. And don't take my word for it, but please comment afterwards and, let me know how amazing it made you feel, because it is a really poignant and special message that you're singing about. It's not just a random, oh, the struggle is real. You're really talking about your experience. And I think that's, as a songwriter myself, it's always great when you put yourself up front and you're very vulnerable, and it's about experiences that you've had and you felt. I think this is vital as a songwriter, because no one can tell your story but you.
No, completely. Thank you. Yeah, I was super brave with this album and super brave with this one. I wanted to write something that was meaningful to me, but then also wanted it to relate to other people and for people to relate to it as well. And a reminder to keep going. Keep going through that struggle, everyone. Yeah, it's just so wonderful to share that recording experience with you. And I really did enjoy that session. And I felt so free singing it. I don't know whether it's because, oh gosh, Pete's in the room over there. I better put the performance in. But it was such a nice session, because there have been some sessions where I'm like, I'm just not feeling it that day. And sometimes that just happens for us. And we've just kind of got to step back from the mic, take a day or two, and then come back to it. And it will be a different, fresh mind, especially when there is such a personal connection to the words, and you have to be in that right sort of headspace. But that session, I loved it.
Wonderful.
So you are a songwriter, an amazing vocalist. You've been working on some stuff yourself, haven't you, recently?
I have. As you well know, I am now your label mate. And so I've been for a long time, I say a long time, for pretty much most of my career, I have been a featured vocalist on numerous other artists' albums and projects, and in all that time, I've always wanted to self-produce, self-write, so just really do my own thing. And I've never really, for whatever reasons, given myself the time to do that. Talking to yourself and Fabian, you were both very enthusiastic and very encouraging and really loving towards how you felt about me and my voice and my arts. And Fabian was like, come on, do this, get it done. In fact, I'll tell you what, if you sign a little album contract for my label, we'll get on it, we'll do it, let's do it. So I've just started doing some fresh stuff with your boy, and it sounds great. I'm really happy with how it's coming together. It's an interesting process for me, because like you, I have really high expectations of what I want and how I want it to sound, the feeling, and I think actually as artists, that's really important, that you hold on to your vision of what you see for your music, for yourself. And it's interesting because I've had this conversation a lot recently with good friends who are in the industry. And there's a tendency, the higher up you go in the music industry, the more compromise as an artist you're expected to take on, to be. So you sort of lose yourself the higher you get involved in the market. So I don't know, I'm sure artists like Alicia Keys and Anderson .Paak and all these artists that we really like have had to make actually great compromises and some sacrifices so that they would fit in this particular music business thing, because it is a business. And often we artists, we forget that. that there's, that people are looking to make money from this. And for them, it's not important what you're trying to say as a musician or as an artist. If you look good, if you sound good, if you got, a little following, that's more important to them because they see it as money. Yeah. So I think for me, that was a difficult thing because I'm not very good with compromise. I like what I like, and I like it to be what it is and not to sound hip hop, R&B, pop, funk, jazz, whatever, for the sake of it, because it has an audience. If it feels as though it should be that, then it should be that. It's got to be what you want. So this is my opportunity to express myself fully and truly. So
I'm so excited about this journey for you because yes, me and Fabian have been like, come on, Pete. Like before our chat today, I was listening to one of your tracks that you're working on at the moment at Sheep Hill Studios. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped for you. This is awesome.
Yeah. I'm quite excited by it too. But anyway, enough about me. Let's go back to you.
This is talking about you too. Well, you are on a few tracks on the album.
Yes,
not just the one.
Yes, I am. But I need to ask you because there's a few tracks and you've got ideas and videos and all of that. This is an interesting question that I have to ask because it just came to mind now. It's like, how do you see it being received? And I don't normally like asking these questions, but how do you see it being received in a year, 2 year, 3 years time? How will you feel you have done with this particular album?
Wow. I love this question. I was even chatting with David last week with the last episode about this, and that Fabian and I have this envision that in a few years' time, when we look back, like we're so proud. I'm so proud of this album, but we want to be able to look back in a couple of years and be like, yeah, like we made that. And for people to look back on that and to be like, yes, that was the first start, like the original journey for Helena May.
Yeah.
I would love for people to still look back on this in a few years' time and go, yes, she went in there with her heart. She is absolutely brave with what she did, and they did pretty good for a first album.
Wicked.
That's how I visualize it. I am really proud of this record.
Yeah, your response is fantastic because that enthusiasm is actually what people want to hear and see. Because if you feel the love from it still, having done all the work and the creative process, and you still have that joy for it, for years, maybe decades, who knows. But it's great when you have that feeling and confidence for it. That's why I had to ask the question, because as I've said, I've spoken to people who've done albums and they spent years working on stuff. And then they say, well, it's done now, it's over, and whatever happens. But it's great when someone says, no, the process was brilliant and I loved it. And I can't wait to come back to it in a year or 2 years' time and listen to it with all those really great memories and the positivity. And as a listener of music, that's great. I want to know what the stories are.
Yeah.
Then I'm more invested in the track, in the album when I hear it. I love these things, interviewing musicians and the singers and the people that were involved. It's really difficult to get a feeling for it, because I followed careers and musicians and artists from the back of albums. Like, for example, David Bowie's Young Americans. Luther Vandross was the background singer and arranger, background vocalist arranger. And from this, I followed his career. And then from his albums, Marcus Miller followed Marcus's. It's like just this beautiful string of things and that was purely from them talking about these musicians and these artists and producers and engineers and the stories behind how they wrote or how they came to this. And that's what I love to hear. Keep telling your story.
Oh, thank you. Well, there's such an exciting story to tell, and everybody on the album deserves to be heard and to know about and to have the personalities behind the sound. And it was just such an amazing team to work with. So it's a pleasure. I love it.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have worked with some incredible musicians. I saw recently the Seppi interview, and he's such a great drummer. And I love his vibe as a person as well. And of course, Jojo, and we've already spoken about Fabian, but the list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But not only are they amazing musicians, but they're beautiful human beings, people that, you know, when you see them, you light up. And that, I think, carries into your music. You can feel that there's genuine respect and love. They're not just in to play the parts. Yeah. They're actually, and I know a lot of the guys were, you know, working things out with you and Fabian and getting things so that they would really work on your album. And that's like gold dust. You can't get, you know, the little sprinkling of gold dust over the album because you've got these amazing musicians contributing, playing it, and feeling like I do, incredibly privileged and honored to be able to contribute to your story, to your work. And, you know, that's what we want. I'm just trying to make you cry.
I know, I think you might make me. This is lovely.
But that's what music is. It's vibration. It's supposed to be an expression of self. I know there's all sorts of music, so it's not all love. But what you're contributing, what you're sharing is, as you have with Struggle, is that these are things that you've felt deeply and you wish to express and you wish to encourage. And that's what you're doing. So when you're working with people that get this at that level, then you can really feel it when the music comes out. It's great. It's wonderful.
Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes. I'm really excited for when the live version, so I'm able to bring it to life on stage. Because I feel like there's going to be an extra connection energy, because I want it to be raw and real in the room, and to have the guys there too. Especially because we've missed the live scene for such a long time now. Feels like a lifetime. It's going to be epic when it happens.
It's going to be a blessing. I think it's been very interesting this last year and a bit for musicians, but generally people in the arts, because we've not been able to express ourselves as regularly as we would like. But it's also, dare I say, been a blessing, because I don't think there's a single person out there who is involved in any form of artistry that has taken their work for granted. Because of this break, and because a lot of us have had to really go inside to survive, to just to go through, when this new period of live music and entertainment comes, it's going to be it's going to be amazing. Everybody is going to be so ready for this and so open to the energy that musicians, artists, dancers, poets, they're going to be so open to all of this. It's going to be really, really beautiful. So it excites me that future projects like yours are in development, and everybody is going to really want this, because it's not going to be taken for granted.
Oh, definitely not.
Oh, definitely. It's gonna be a great experience. I can guarantee it. And I've seen you perform. You bring a lot of energy. People are going to be really enthused because you're an amazing performer and an amazing singer. So I think they're going to get a great show from you when it all happens.
Thank you.
You can pay me later.
So how are you feeling about doing live shows? Are you raring to go? Have you got stuff coming up for yourself? What have you been doing?
I have a street food festival next Friday, background music, but it'll still be great just to be able to sing to people and to be able to sing out, because I think I was saying this to Fabi. It was like when I was in the studio doing the track that you were listening to earlier. It's such a weird feeling when you haven't. I mean, I've got a little studio at home, and I sing here and I record, but it's always broken up because I'm recording parts, I'm recording harmonies, I don't usually, when I'm writing, sing a song all the way through until right at the end when I finished the process. So it was really weird trying to find my voice again. It was strange. It was really strange. So I'm looking forward to being able to find me again. Who am I as a
Ooh.
singer? Who am I as a singer again after this big break? Because I've had
Yeah.
time to look at how I sing. Because as a singer, we're always judging every tiny little thing we do with our voices, with the breathing, learning things about. It gets really scientific. So now that there's the ability, the opportunity to sing again, I'm really looking forward to how I've changed in my approach to singing. Should be interesting. But because we're vibrational beings, so that's why a lot of us really feel certain pieces of music, because it vibrates and resonates with us at the similar frequency that we're on. As a singer, it's interesting, after a year of not being able to sing, a year of uncertainty all over the world, the unfortunate passing of loved ones, and the suffering, the struggle of many of us around, many people around us, it's going to be really interesting to feel how we communicate some of the songs we've sung in the past. This is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, and how we connect even further to that lyric and to the storytelling.
Exactly. It's really deep. It's really deep.
No, definitely. Because I remember looking back at the Porgy and Bess gig and feeling such a connection to the lyrics then. And I know there was a close musician friend who'd helped me a lot in London and helped me with the Kokomo scene. This is Alan Rogan, and he'd only recently just passed away. Wow. So I felt that emotion towards him not being in the world anymore, and I linked that emotion to one of the songs, and I felt such a connection towards that and a moment in time. And it's actually recorded as well. We put it's up on YouTube, and I watch it back. I watched this particular moment where I felt like such a connection towards Alan in that moment, and I kind of left my body for this moment in time that I'd never ever done previously. I'd sung this song like I don't know, hundreds of times before, but I'd connected to it in a very different way. And I remember even watching it back in the footage, kind of going, "Oh, wow!" I can see that, and we could feel that in the moment. So it will be interesting. I just think of that as an example, but everything that we've been through after another year and a half is gonna be. Yeah, it's going to be some stuff going on.
I think we've all got it. There's going to be, I'm very sure, very interesting audience reactions to artists and songs and feelings and each other. That whole energy thing is going to be, and we all need it right now. We all need each other in friends and colleagues and people that we've thought were just acquaintances, but we realize actually they mean much more to us. I think it's going to be a great release for us all when we're allowed to fully express that when we see one another again. So I'm looking forward to that. And it gives me a lot of hope and positivity for the future, that we carry on this same level of energy and enthusiasm and positivity into different aspects of our lives, not just our musical lives, but our relationships, our family life, the way we interact with people. We've become, I hope, considerate and compassionate in the way that we deal with people around us because of what we've had to go through over the last year and a half. Yeah. That's my hope. But anyway, you, darling, you are creating amazing music. And I know it's coming from your heart. Yeah, I just feel really grateful that I've been able to sing on it. It's great.
Yes, completely. I love it. Your voice fits perfectly on the record.
That was lucky.
Yeah, definitely. Well done. This other track that you're on as well sits so nicely right at the beginning of the album. And on this track, we have so many people. It's basically everyone all on one track.
I know, it's great.
It's nice to bring everybody all together, and I'm looking forward to revealing that one when the album comes out.
There is a lot that you and Fabian should be very, very proud of. It was a real labor of love, and I remember listening to it for the first time with you both in Fabian's in Vienna, and just being blown away. It's been mixed amazingly. You performed on it beautifully. It was mastered superbly. You know, it's just everything about it really, really works. It's an amazing piece of work, and yeah, just for that alone, you guys should be incredibly proud. And as I said, I know I am, because I got the opportunity to sing and do some BVs on it, and I love to do. As you know, I love to do BVs. Actually, often I prefer doing BVs than I do singing lead, because of that whole creative and atmospheric thing you can create with backing vocals. I really like that. And I guess because I was a huge fan of Luther Vandross, his thing was his backing vocalist and the sound they created. And I was fortunate enough, I still am fortunate enough to have worked with one of his backing vocalists. So I kind of heard all these stories, and that really cemented in my mind that, yeah, that's a really important part of the musical storytelling, is what the voices supporting the lead voice are doing.
It's its own technique, backing vocals.
It is. And there's some amazing singers out there who are incredible at backing vocals, and in my opinion should be vocalists in their own right, lead vocalists. But it is a real skill, and if you're good at this, I have maximum respect for you, because you're creating something else. The voice is a musical instrument, so when you can create with this something beautiful and textural and real, and people feel it, this is great.
Definitely, to blend with the lead singer, to vibe off them and to support. Because as a backing singer, it's not about you per se, it's about what you bring as a team effort.
Exactly. And I love that role. I really like playing that role of supporting and embellishing what the lead singer's doing, and making her point, your point, really come to the fore, to really stand out. This is, it's important.
Yeah, you smashed it. Whoop whoop.
Smashed it out of the park, mate. Smashed it out of the park. Woohoo, look at that. Backing vocals. Why am I speaking in this stupid voice now? I guess I might as well carry on. Rest of the interview in this voice. So, in minor.
Yes. This is what we're like behind the scenes, everybody. It's got this special treat going on. Helena Minor, that is my nickname. Yes.
There you go. It's Helena Minor. This is the truth. It's the truth. Yep. So I'm going to ask you a question now. So what's next after this album? Will you do? Oh my
gosh.
Will you, after? I know you want to get some gigs behind you, doing these songs, but obviously for me, it's like it would be a real shame if this wasn't backed up with another album in a year or two, or next week. But it'd be great, because because I really believe you and Fabian have hit on something with the sound that you've created. So it would be great. It's always exciting to hear what the next thing is.
Yeah.
For me, I think it'll be really interesting.
Well,
not to say the first album isn't interesting.
Yeah.
It's just that in your journey in the development, you get it. I think with most artists, the second album is what do they call it? The sophomore album. The second album, after you've had your rookie season, then you get that. Now you're established, and I think that's going to be for me really interesting to see. I hope I'm asked to be involved in that too.
Oh my gosh! Of course, absolutely. So
cool.
I've come back to England, and I have been inspired, and I have been writing more stuff.
Good to hear.
So I kind of thought to myself when the album, is out and about, I was kind of like, right, I just want to give myself a holiday because I've like been like I think everyone, like definitely Fabian, just to have like chill space away from it. But actually, I think keeping the momentum going is the best thing. And of course, looking after ourselves as well, not burning ourselves out. But I have come back to England and I have been sending Fabian a couple of new ideas. And
Ooh.
I've been listening to other people that I haven't listened to before and discovering new people and kind of going, ooh, that's pretty cool. I didn't think about that for the first album. So I have been starting to think and piece things together and going on walks in the woods, which is usually where my inspiration comes.
Right.
Where I just sit down in the woodlands and think, have a bit of brain space. But yes, do want to write some more. Fabian and I have been speaking about how we might do it. Definitely writing together on it.
But he's a talented musician himself as well.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
completely.
Amazing drummer, guitarist. He's very very capable. Yeah, very
Drums,
capable.
bass, guitar. Yeah, he helped write it with me.
He's
half
a
and
very
half.
talented young man. Let's big him up. Bigging you up, Fabian.
Yeah,
Bigging you up.
Fabi. Smash.
Yeah, so it's good. I mean, I'm just happy you've got a great team. You've got great songs. You've got an amazing album coming out with singles that have been flowing constantly. Your videos have been amazing as well and really entertaining.
Thank you.
So it's I'm and the last video, how natural this one is with your friends, and it's just really. It's really, really watchable because of the innocence of the video. It's beautiful. So all of your friends that were involved in that, I applaud you. Well done.
They all did. Really good. They all did such an incredible job, and we turned that around in 6 days. I'm so thankful for Leo. Yeah, we filmed it 6 days, and Leo put it together in 6 days, and we released the track, and the video came out that evening. So yeah, it was quite a tight schedule. Everyone did such an incredible job. Loved it. I'm very proud of it. It is the best we could make out of the COVID situation. I wanted to have lots of people in it, and we managed to make it happen. I would have loved to have had like 50 people in the same room, like all being a big choir. That was how I originally imagined it. But we still was able to make that choir effect with the 9 other performers.
Yeah, I think it was a blessing because the intimacy of it came across. So the message was stronger because of that, in my opinion. But because of the restrictions, it felt as though because of the people that you had, that I could really relate more to the lyrics of the song, because it wasn't about a massive choir. It wasn't a huge production. It was really, really intimate and really special, really unique. And that's why I say I applaud everyone that was in the video and everyone who made it, and the concept, your idea of doing that. Great.
Yeah, thank you. It was a mammoth, nice, wonderful, gorgeous task that I gave myself and managed to do it. And Leo really pulled it off with the editing. So I'm super happy with everybody.
Well done, Leo. Well done.
Yeah, I know Leo's awesome. And I'm meeting with Leo very soon because I've got a new single coming out. Right? There's a new one, number 4. And we've got a final puzzle piece of filming to do for it before the music video comes out. So I've been working on this for the last year.
Oh,
not to give it away, but it has been a year in the making, this video.
This is a big one. Well, if you need a Denzel Washington, Idris Elba lookalike,
you're here. You're my man. Well, I will be coming to Vienna soon for another one. So yeah, I might give you a shout up for that one.
Yep. I'm available.
I love it.
I'm looking forward to this one, the special one.
I like this one. Did this one with Fabian, and
Woo.
Fabian's put some nice little gems in there. Oh, it's just so awesome to speak with you.
It's good to talk to you too, sweetheart. Really is good to speak to you.
Tell us what's plans for you coming up. Have you got some more
Really?
tracks that you're working on? Yes, this is like Let's Chat with Pete time.
My ultimate goal is to create a piece of music that I will be really proud of, like you are with what you've just done, is to do something that I feel completely connected to, that I don't feel as though I've compromised for anyone else, and that will make me a very, very happy man. So that's my plan. I don't know how that's going to, because I love all sorts of music. I want to include all sorts of things on this project. I really love samba. I would love to do a really cool samba track with Mother Wagner and Mateus and Jojo. Something like that would be great on the album as well, because that's been a huge influence on myself. I have a superstar musician that I would love to play on this album as well, from America. I can't say any more than that. You know how it goes, but I would love him to be on this. He said yes in the past, but I need to press him again. So that would be great. Yeah, so many ideas. I just have to start.
I'm excited for you.
Me too.
Woo.
Many of my influences come from a very live-oriented style of music. I love the digital thing, it's great, but I love live instrumentation. I'm a bass player as well. I love the bass. And there's nothing that beats a real Fender Rhodes or a great drummer and a really cool rhythm section. That can't be beaten. And if you can get those ingredients and get a good song with those ingredients, then yeah.
Yeah,
and that's all I'm after. That's all I'm after, is to get really good songs, really good feeling, hopefully with a good performance, because you know how super critical we singers can be.
Yes.
So that's the dream, and I feel good about it, because you know how much I love your boy. He's great. Fabian's an amazing human being. He's so sensitive and understanding, in not just as a musician but as a person. So it's great to have someone like him that I can bounce my ideas off and go into the studio, and we can really discuss how we feel about music. And it's always great talking to him about this, because he's a digital boy but with an analog feel.
Yeah.
An Erica Badu thing, I don't know. Anyway, but
that's
he's got this. He's got this appreciation for both worlds, and he's a geek. Let's be honest, he's a geek. He's a geek. He knows his stuff inside out.
Yeah.
So that really helps. So I think I gave him a reference track last week for the song you just heard, Red Room by Hiatus Coyote. It's fantastic, brilliant.
Yeah.
I said, I want the warmth that this has, the feeling it feels, and it's a beautiful track.
It's
I
such
love
a
that
great
band.
track.
I really like the connection between the digital and the analog, and I love the Quincy Jones productions where he was Back on the Block. Remember Back on the Block album?
Yeah.
That beautiful connection between live and digital and how that was produced. So if Quincy Jones, if you happen to cross this conversation and you've got a bit of free time, you could co-produce Elena Miners and myself, this would be much appreciated.
Just come down to Vienna, Quincy.
You've got a place to stay. Think a few people might know you here. We'll treat you right.
I love it. There's such a hub of UK musicians in Vienna.
I've met some great musicians here who make me laugh and are very, very creative. And unfortunately, Austria doesn't get the kudos it should get for the level of musicality it has here. I mean, people know it for the classical music scene, but its jazz scene is incredible. You've played with them on your album. The quality of these musicians is is world class, simply world class.
Yeah, completely.
So I feel privileged that I'm in a country where I can work with that level of musician. So it's amazing. I'm spoiled and honored, all of that.
So wonderful. Yeah, which I think is even more reason for you to get your stuff out there, because you've got some sweet guys on your stuff.
Oh man, there's some musicians in England, in London, that I've got to get over here.
Yes.
And people like who you know, Julian Crampton and Tony Remy.
Yes.
Got to get these.
So good.
Got to get them playing. I mean, and there's a mountain more. There's like a great keyboard player from Leeds called Dan Goldman, who's actually played on a track that I will let Fabi listen to. Carl Hudson. I think you know Carl, don't you?
Oh,
do you know
Carl is crazy good.
Carl Hudson is, I love that guy to pieces.
Seriously.
Francis Hilton from Incognito.
Oh, Francis Hilton.
Yeah, I'd love to get Bluey on something eventually as well. So I've got this huge wish list of musicians and singers that I would love to get involved. I've got a feeling that that's going to happen.
It is. Visualize it. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's going to be
amazing.
Going to
happen.
I will be taking the first flight over to watch the studio session. I'll be like, hi guys, just here in the corner, just watching.
Yeah, it will be an amazing moment for me as well, just to watch that happen.
Oh, I forgot to say, I like your t-shirt.
Yeah, I am wearing Helena Minor merchandise. Sorry, Helen May merchandise.
Oh,
and it's, it looks good.
This, everybody, is the Diamond 101 limited edition t-shirt. And there's Pete just modeling it over here.
Yeah.
Pete, thank you so much. This has been such a delight. I have loved chatting with you today.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure talking to you, sweetheart. It's always great to hear your enthusiasm. I think that's what I really get from when we talk about things. You're so enthusiastic, and it's always a pleasure listening to you and sharing this. So thank you for asking me, and I'll see you when you get over here.
Yes, definitely. I'll see you very, very soon.
You will.
Bye, Petey.
Bye, Helena Minor.
Bye.